welcome back to my little corner of the internet. I'm Anastasia, if you haven't been here before. I am wearing the same clothes that I wore in the last video because it is the same day because, you know, I live in New York City and it's only a limited of time of daylight. And so, you know, gotta get in the filming while I can. I also have a full-time job, so, you know. Anyway. So, since I started recharging my YouTube and my blog, if you haven't been to the blog, go check it out. Link is in the description box. I have, you know, been trying to be very consistent. Anything that you're trying to do, what you're trying to like succeed in and put your mind to, you just have to be consistent. Because consistency is also practice and it will help you get better for the future. So, with that being said, I thought today would be a really great day to talk about consistency, especially because I've started a little bit falling off. I've been doing this for the past 2 months pretty consistently, and you know, lately it's just been really hard for me to get some videos out, mainly because they were mostly travel vlogs, and travel vlogs take really long to edit. You really have to put a story together and put some real thought into it and do some, you know, like technical tricks on the editing. I work in Premiere, and so, you know, that just takes me a really long time to do. I'm not a fast editor at all. I'm not a fast creator. You know, I kind of suffer from this like perfectionism thing where I just want it to be perfect, but you know, I've realized that in order to be consistent, but also in order to, you know, just get my stuff out there and to really start, I cannot be perfect, and I just gotta do the thing. First, who is Mr. Resistance? I read a book called Turning Pro by Steven Pressfield, and it really was amazing. Like, he basically called this thing the resistance, and it is pretty much the voice inside of your head. It's your self-sabotage. It's the voices that are telling you that you are not good enough, that who do you think you are, why are you doing this, like you'll never get big, like that voice that is telling you that you can't do the thing that you're trying to do. And how do you get past that? So these are going to be a few tips to help you get past it. These are the things that are helping me at this moment. So the first tip is to show up. Show up to create. Now, you may be stuck with, like, you know, editing a video or writing an article or whatever it is that you do creatively. You might be stuck. You might be feeling like not good enough, or what am I doing? Why am I doing this? And you can't push through it. So you show up. You show up to try to do the work. Now, there are some times where I show up and I set up my editing station and I'm like, okay, we are gonna do this. And I try and I try and I just like can't get into it. I'm just like struggling and really like having a hard time just, you know, figuring out what this story is. So I say to myself, okay, I can't do this, but I came here to create. I showed up to create today. And so I'm going to create anything that I possibly can. And so I go grab some crayons and a coloring book and I color. I am creating. I showed up to create today, and that's what I'm gonna do. I'm going to go color. And by taking myself away from that place where I'm feeling stuck and doing something else that is creative, I am starting to open my mind and kind of get into that creative flow. And although it's not in the thing that, you know, I really need to be doing at the moment, I am still open, and eventually, through coloring and kind of focusing on something else, or not even really focusing, because coloring, you don't really have to focus on that. So just like opening myself up to be in this creative flow state, I'm able to, like, you know, have ideas come to me and just like start thinking like, you know what, actually, I remember that footage and I think that I can do it this way. And I think that if I just do this, then, you know, maybe that'll work. So I think I'm gonna go try that now. And so at that point, because I was open and because I just was like in that creative zone, ideas came to me and now I can try it. Now if that works or it doesn't work, you know, sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. But either way, that helped me push past that initial, like, I can't do this. So my second tip is to meditate. Just sit in stillness and calm your nerves and calm your mind and get those voices out of your head. Now, if you are not the type of person to meditate, you know, like the way that society says you should meditate, then that's totally okay. Another thing that I like to do when I can't get these voices out of my head is to focus on something else. So the coloring kind of like helps me open up and go into this creative zone. And if that isn't working and I'm still having these, you know, voices in my head, then I go into something that requires a little bit more focus. And so that might be my language learning, studying. So I might just, you know, pop on a YouTube video that's in Portuguese and replay it a million times and really focus and try to understand every detail about that video. And that, when I'm in that zone, everything else goes out of my mind. So that video is out of my mind, that footage is out of my mind, my work problems are out of my mind, like, you know, every other thing that's going on is just out of my mind and I am zoned in. And usually when I'm done with the heavy, intense studying, then I'm able to go back, show up in front of that computer and just start going. Just let it happen, because at this point, all of those negative thoughts are out of my head. So there's nothing blocking me from actually doing the work, you know? Now, my third way of trying to, you know, get over and get through this resistance is by journaling. My best time to create is in the morning. I feel like I am this like creative butterfly in the morning. That is when I do my best work, for real. But sometimes when I wake up, I have way too much in my mind and I'm like thinking all over the place. And so I start doing the creative work and it just seems all over the place. And so I need to organize my thoughts. And so a lot of the times I just open up my journal and I free write. I write at least 3 pages and it's just everything that's in my mind. I just dump it onto the paper. There's no rhyme or reason to what I'm writing. Like one sentence to the next sentence does not even make any sense. I just need to get it all out, and once it's all out, then I can go and create. Sometimes I like to go in and organize what I wrote, because sometimes the idea for whatever it is I'm trying to do is within those pages. And so if I go through it and I organize it, then I can create better, and or I'm able to like figure out like, you know, what my day is like. So the fourth tip is going on an inspiration date. Now, inspiration dates are 2 things to me. One is me by myself and I'm going out into nature and I am looking for inspiration. So I may go walk in certain neighborhoods that I know inspire me, or to an art exhibit, or go to the botanical garden, or wherever I want to go. I know that I enjoy plants and flowers, and so for the most part I go into areas that are lush with like greenery, because it really like invigorates me. I also love being under the sun, and so that right there helps my creative juices flow and my mind just kind of like blow. My second inspiration date is by going to my creative tribe, the people that are doing the work and being creative just like me and kind of have the same mindset and views on just life in general. And I go to them whenever I'm feeling stuck and I need to like talk it out. So I'll call up someone and be like, hey, can we have an inspiration date? And we'll go and we'll talk about, you know, what it is that I'm stuck with. We'll talk about my goals and their goals. Sometimes, you know, they're feeling the same way. They're feeling a little bit stuck. So we talk about their goals and what they're kind of stuck on, the last thing that inspired us. And that really sparks a conversation that just helps you kind of get out, you know, all the things that's frustrating you, but also like take in like new ways to, you know, do something. So it's a really good way to kind of help bring someone else in to help push you through that resistance, and that way you're not doing it alone, you can do it together. Now, the 5th and final tip is something a little bit different, a little bit weird, I guess, but I've heard it in different ways from like Stephen Pressfield and Elizabeth Gilbert and Abraham Hicks. So if you follow those people, then you know about this tip. And basically it's like thinking of the resistance as an alien life form, something that is outside of yourself, you know? Like, you would never go up to someone who is creating something and say, oh my God, that sucks, you'll never do good. And if you do that, then like, why? Why are you being a hater? So therefore, looking at this resistance as a alien life form, because you would never talk that way to yourself, is a good way to say, you know, hold on, I hear this voice telling me that I'm not good enough, I can't do this, but that's not me. That's definitely not me. I would never tell myself that. I wouldn't tell someone else that, so why would I tell myself that? No. You know, I'm just gonna ignore it, and I'm gonna keep doing the work because I need to practice so that I can be great. Because right now I'm good, or right now I'm okay, or right now I'm starting out, but I will be successful. So whoever it is that you are, that you think you are, telling me that I'm not good enough, bye. I don't have time for you. Honestly, have that conversation with yourself when those voices come in, and I promise you, it'll really, really help. Like, I know it's kind of weird, but like, it really, really does help. Just have that conversation and keep doing the work, because like, you have a story to tell, you have something to share, and the world needs to hear it. So keep doing what you're doing. Don't let the resistance get in the way. You are doing wonderful, and I just want to see more and more people create. So keep doing you. Thank you so much for tuning in and watching this video. I hope it was really helpful, and I hope you enjoyed it. And thank you so much for kicking it with me in this little corner of the internet. I'll see you next week with some more creative talk, or maybe a travel vlog, or maybe a daily vlog. I don't know yet, but I'll see you next week because I'm going to show up and do the work. All right, bye guys.